Shay.
Let's get it poppin', Daddy.
Yes,
Because Lala
honey.
Kent is here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Always.
We've always loved you, but I feel like this year you have really shown how much of like a girl's girl, feminist, and this awesome chick that you are. How is this season different than previous?
Well, last season when I left, I had a lot of time to, go back to Utah and reflect on what I stand for and remember my roots. As everyone knows, I run home to mama when I need to. And it was really crazy this round because I remembered my strength, and what I believe in. And I've always been a girl's girl. I've never been the type to attack someone for their looks. So the fact that I allowed things to get to me and I dealt with them in a way that I definitely should not have. So entering again, it definitely helped a lot that I received an apology. But I'm like, you know what? Let's really show who Lala is, what I grew up with, what my mom taught me, what my dad instilled in me. And come to find out, people are still very much entertained by that. So I'm excited because I finally feel like people get to see who I really am and what I stand for.
Well, you are so inspirational to so many people, so many fans. Who inspires you? I know you mentioned your mom and your dad, but who else?
I am inspired by so many different people. I obviously have looked up to Beyonce from the time I was a child because she and her mom have always represented, being women and being empowered and having your own stuff. So I would say that she's my biggest. I know it sounds super cheesy and cliche because I'm sure everyone says that, but I just remember her from a really young age going, wow, this woman is so classy, yet she's shaking that booty like a champion and embodying her sexuality. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really puts everything into context about who you are.
Right.
And, sexuality doesn't mean that you're not also a feminist.
Right. I think however you want to take feminism and, put it out there to the world, I don't really care as long as we're supporting each other.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more incredible than a group of women standing together, supporting each other. I don't care what you look like, where you come from. It's you can't mess with us when we band together, right? It's like, ooh, this is scary. Look at all these men running scared. I'm like, yeah, run, boys.
I do feel like this season you've really taken it upon yourself to kind of be that bonding person to bring all the women together. Was that planned? Did you intend to try to do that?
Not really. I kind of just go into the show and give them Lala, whatever that may be for that day. But I was watching a couple of the girls, like Sheena and Katie, kind of at each other's throats, and I'm like, hold up, why are we fighting with each other when, like, your boyfriend supposedly made out with someone and your husband supposedly made out? Like, shouldn't we be directing the anger towards them and not each other? Band together and be like, wow, our men kind of sucked for a second. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah.
So that's what I tried to put out there. And it was coming to me constantly I now see how I'll never be Brittany. She's incredible. But I do get when she gets kind of flustered because she's friends with everybody. I was like, I really just want them to get along. And then in the end, it looked like I needed to have an exorcism. My head looked like it was going to start spinning. And I was trying so hard to get my point across. But I'm like, girlfriend, you should do that with way less Jack Daniels in your system.
There was so much alcohol at that party.
Right? When Peter is lit off his ass,
right?
It's lit, right?
I feel like it's easy to do on Vanderpump Rules.
It's
lit.
So easy and it's so fun, right? I hate that I love my drink so much, and watch everyone's going to be like, I think she needs to go to AA.
Well, I've been doing a big rewatch of Vanderpump Rules. So I just finished with the last 2 seasons, and I was surprised in real time you're hanging out so much with Kristen Doty.
How crazy is that?
How did that come about?
A lot of people sit there and they're like, she's crazy. And I'm like, no, she's just real. She just wears her crazy on her sleeve. And I love that about her. I'm like, you
1000%.
get 'em, girl.
Yeah.
So anybody who this sounds so lame, but anybody who loves their dog more than life itself, I'm like, you're a good chick. I like you. So we've just started connecting, and she's kind to me. And when I launched my lip line, give them Lala Beauty. Make sure you get that on shoplalabeauty.com.
Nice.
She was so kind and supportive, and it's very telling about someone when they just randomly text you and say like, hey, just wanted to say happy Valentine's Day to you and your boo. Wow, you are really a nice person.
Yeah.
So I connect with Kristen. She's a good one.
Oh. Well, someone you, I think, and Kristen have in common are obviously James.
Mm-hmm.
We saw on social media that you kind of officially unfriended him and said you were done.
Yeah.
Where are you now, or how did that come about, and why?
The way that he spoke about my boyfriend is something that I can't forgive, you know, and I would hope that if my boyfriend had a friend and they spoke about me in the way he spoke about my man, that he would end his friendship with them. That's what I would expect. So the fact that this is my human that I fully intend on spending my whole life with, he has 2 children, he is the son of someone, he's the brother of someone, and that's how you speak about him, our friendship is very much not ever going to be revived. So, and I stand by that. Yeah.
Well, we've been watching the Big Bear episodes, and, you know, there's so much flirtation coming from James's side toward you.
Right.
Did you feel in the moment that it was ever disrespectful toward Raquel on his part?
You want to know what's so crazy and sad at the same time is when I'm in it, I just feel like he's being a goofball and like a dork. And then when you watch it, it's like, wow, you really have no boundaries. You know, it's uncomfortable to watch. So he's just an inappropriate person who is a loose cannon, and you never know what hatred he's going to spew. You know, and I need to feel safe in my relationships, and he doesn't make me feel that way, so I have to dismiss him.
We saw you and Raquel kind of have a heart-to-heart about James. Where are you guys at? Are you guys still friends?
I don't think I've ever really been friends with Raquel. She's just James's girlfriend. You know, if they were to break up tomorrow, I don't think I'd ever speak to her again, you know?
Yeah.
Not trying to be rude. I'm just stating
is what it is.
It is what it is. So, yeah, she's just kind of there. I tend to not really connect with women who aren't tough bitches.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like she lets him get away with murder. And people that are weak, we don't have much in common, because it makes me feel like I'm too aggressive, you know, and too rough. I need people around me that are kind of that make me feel better about being aggressive and rough, I guess. You're like, so you're not friends with her because she's kind and sweet?
1,000%.
You just need Beyonce's.
I just need Beyonce's around me all the time.
It is strange because from an outsider, like, I have no idea what your all's day-to-day is, but watching you and James, I'm like, wow, he regards her as the one that got away. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Does it feel like that to you?
Again, it didn't feel that way in the moment, but now it's being brought to my attention, and I'm like, wow, the things that he's like he was saying in Big Bear, he was like, I loved you, Lala. And it's like, what the is happening? You know, who says this? And I have to remind him, you have Raquel inside, and I have a boyfriend that we owe respect to.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have to tell someone that? Right? I don't feel like I should have to remind you, hi, Raquel's here. What are you doing?
She's right inside, buddy.
My man's not even here, and I remember, you know, he's right here with me.
Right.
In my heart and soul. Pull it together, Kennedy.
Yeah, that was crazy to watch, because you are just reminded, like, you have someone and I have someone.
Right.
Right.
And it wasn't about us not being friends anymore, but I would expect someone being that close to me that as we get older, things are going to change. I'm not going to stay out until 4 a.m. and get drunk with you, because then my man does not feel safe. And again, safety is a big thing for me. So the fact that he couldn't be happy for me, you know, most of my friends are like, we see Lala when we get to see her, because my life is just transitioning, you know?
Yes.
And instead he decides to call him names and say that I'm with him for reasons besides just loving and adoring him. And I'm offended by that, because I've told him things and confided in him about a lot, and he just used that against me. And it's like, no one wants to hear about your relationship and like how great it is. Because then it becomes a Rob and Sheena thing, you know, where
Right.
it's like, it ain't that butterfly rosy, you know?
And I feel like you always, when you talk to people about relationships, it's not the good stuff. It's always like, oh, I'm having this problem or this is happening.
And it's sad to me because venting to a friend is a beautiful thing. And if you can't do that, you've taken away one of the most epic conversations you can have between friends.
Right.
Don't you think?
No, it's what connects you
It's what
and makes
connects
it
you.
deeper. And
So if I
Totally.
can't do that with somebody, I don't really care to have them around me.
It's more surface then.
Surfaced. And I don't have time for surface in my life anymore.
Right.
Yeah. We're growing up.
Well, speaking of, I guess, growing up, you know, in Big Bear, you saw Jax be like, oh, we were never like that. Like when he was talking about James, and we're like, But Jax is like, you know, I'm Jason now, not Jax. Is there a distinction between Lala and Lauren?
You know, I was thinking about this the other day because I'm like, no, if I were to say that there is, it's like you're that narcissistic that you can sit there and be like, well, Lala did that, not Lauren. You know, it's weird. So I don't think that there's a difference at all. The only thing I would say is like people back home know Lauren that went to high school with them, and that would be the only difference. Like if they called me Lala, it would just be weird, but it's not like I'm a different person. You know, I'm still a badass motherfucker.
well, we're going to tread lightly here because we have some questions about your boyfriend.
Okay.
Starting with, you're wearing a beautiful ring on that finger.
Thank you.
Significance?
You want to know what's so crazy is I had this last season and no one said a word about it. And now this year, it's like everyone noticed it. No, he gave this to me and basically just said, this is me letting you know I'm committed to you and it's just you and me. And it's the ring before the ring is what he likes to call it. But we are in no rush for, you know, when something's good, it doesn't need to change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
I love that you always refer to your boyfriend as your man.
That's
Like-
my man.
Yeah. Have you always called him your man?
I'm such a weirdo. Can I tell you? That goes back to Beyonce. She always refers to
That makes me so happy.
No, seriously. I always remember her being like, that's my man. And I just feel like it's such like a sexy, like that's the one. So I've always referred to him as that, and I've never really noticed until people are like, oh, enough about your man. And I'm like, I'm going to say it more just to piss you off. You know? I'm that person where it's like, oh, you think I'm annoying now? I'll really get in that skin. You know? I
Yes.
should probably stop.
No, don't, please.
Does he watch the show?
Yes, he does.
You
And I
don't
wish
like that?
No, because I think people are mean, and it's just, then you see a side to me that I don't necessarily, like my family, I don't allow them to watch the show. But with my man, it's his weakness. He watches. And then, James. I'm like, honey, remember, we don't deal with peasants. We're fine. That was up. I'm sorry.
No.
I mean,
You're like, keep
that
going.
shade.
Yes,
Throw
yes.
that shade.
So you don't watch together. He watches on his own, and then you get the text.
Well, I probably shouldn't say this, but when I get because obviously we have the luxury of watching the episode before, I let him see, just because he's been spoken about in not a nice way, that I don't want him to ever feel blindsided on a Monday. You know, it's like, let's not start the week off bad. Let's like end it bad and get drunk this weekend, and then by the time Monday comes, we've forgotten about
Right.
it.
I love that.
That's a good philosophy.
Yes, get ahead of the drama.
Exactly.
Well, are there any misconceptions you want to clear up about your relationship?
I think the biggest one is that I did not wreck anybody's home. You know, I've always resented that name of homewrecker because I definitely believe in marriage. My parents have been together a long time, like 40 years. So that's like a good amount of time. So yeah, that's the only thing I would want to clear up.
Yeah.
Is that we did things properly. There's a time and a place. And I didn't feel last year was the time or the place to talk about it.
That's great.
Yeah. We want to take on some of the other drama from what's going on this season. Jack cheating on Brittany with Faith was like a huge bomb to start the season off with. Were you disappointed in Faith being her friend?
I was disappointed in her for the way that she handled it, because the way that she relayed it to me, I knew that they had slept together literally an hour after it happened. And, you know, I tried because I had had such a tough season the year before. I'm like, I would not say I just wouldn't say anything. Well, then there's a recording, and then somehow James has the recording. So I kind of felt like I was a little bit played. You know, it's like I already am not in great with this group, and now I'm put in a position where you're making everybody sit there and go, wow, we apologize and we want to make this right and get to know you. And you're kind of, if this all comes out and I know about it, you're proving them right about every conception they have of me. And I just, like I said, I don't have time to sit here and have surfaced friendships. And then I had found out through the grapevine recently that she was not kind about me even when we were friends. And I'm a loyal soldier. When I have a friend, it's like, you're not going to catch me talking badly about you. I'm always going to defend you. So that was hurtful too. Yeah, I don't have any, you know, if I saw her in a nightclub, I would say what's up, but I said this before, it's a luxury to be around me. You know, like sipping a great glass of Shams on a G5. So
we feel very lucky.
Yes.
I mean, gosh, Lala, you're shooting yourself in the foot here. Shut up.
Genuinely feel very lucky.
Well, that's how I feel being around you guys, too.
Aww.
I do. Anyone who's kind, I'm like, you know what? And that's another thing. I'm like, women need to remember, it is a luxury to be around you. You know, that's not something that you just get. No. You know, put the pussy on a pedestal, remember your worth.
Stassi was recently asked this on Watch What Happens Live, and I'm curious what your opinion is.
Okay.
Do you think that with Faith, that's the only time Jax has cheated on Brittany?
No. I don't. And I think Jax he has a good heart. I just don't think he should be in a relationship. I don't think you know, there are those people who just don't have it in them. And I don't think that Faith was the first, and I definitely don't think Faith will be the last. And I love Brittany. She's such a good human. You guys know her.
Mm-hmm.
She deserves, like, the most incredible man. And I believe if she were to, you know, kind of suck it up for just a little bit and know that it's going to be hard to be without him, she would find that and be so happy. And we'll ditch Jax before we'll ditch Britt. Britt is stuck with us.
Common theme. Everyone who comes through is like, no, Brittany stays.
Yes, exactly.
We have a really fun Sophie's kind of choice, but it's the Sophie Stanbury's choice because she was on Ladies of London.
Okay.
So it's basically like a choice between two things. If you had to pick a team, would it be Team Stassi, Katie, and Kristen, or Team Ariana and Sheena?
Ooh, I think I may have to go with the Witches of WeHo.
Oh. And was it the bikes?
Right.
The scooters?
It was just, I've really gotten to know Katie, and we're both from Utah, and Utah, we don't breed bad people. So I think that we were so much alike that we were butting heads. And I love Ariana and Sheena, but Ariana kind of stands alone, and that's what I love about her. But that group of girls, I just feel it's like, damn, y'all have put each other through the ringer and y'all are still standing strong.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's so shocking to hear you say that about Katie because I feel like you guys did butt heads so much at the beginning.
We did, and I have really grown to adore her. And her man and my man are like,
oh, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's crazy. They go and play poker together. My man is like full on bromance with him. I'm like, all right, I get it. You love Schwartzy.
Everyone seems to just love Schwartzy.
He's the best.
Schwartz loves every man. Like, he gets man crushes very easily.
Right. I feel so badly that I would ever say that I like wanted to sleep with him, and I feel so badly that I was ever mean to Katie. I'm like, you guys are so epic, and they're a couple that's gonna last. I just know it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, right? We're making moves.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. This was great.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Kennedy.